Okay, so FE4 5 technically finally gets some seasonals, so that's pretty cool. But Legendary Leaf is back, I guess. Yeah, we'll see.
Let the lesson begin.
What's up, guys? Akariss here, bringing you another Fire Emblem Heroes video. I am back from my break, just in time, I think, to give you guys coverage on the brand new banner. Technically, there was an update notif, but there wasn't really anything to cover because there wasn't anything new in that update notif besides previews of what's to come, so weapon refines and whatnot, and we'll definitely cover those as it drops. But yeah, so I'm back from my break. As you can see, I'm probably a little bit reddish darker now, I guess. That's what the sun does to me. But yeah, I'm back. Today is my birthday, so I will be streaming on Twitch, but I'm also going to be giving you guys two videos today. One is this one, which is the reaction first impressions video, and then later today, around the time where I'm going to do a Twitch stream for my birthday to hang out with you guys, I will also be basically doing all FEH content in one day, like completing the game, Arena Assault, Legendary Abyssals, AR, Arena, everything in one day, plus some extra stuff that I'm not going to reveal at this time. So if you're interested, maybe come in and consider joining that experience. That would be, and I don't know if it's today, maybe for you guys in the North Americas, that's probably tomorrow, usually the morning, afternoon, either way. Which is in the description below. Finally, in the video later today, I am gonna do a should you pull video for this particular banner. Although it is a seasonal banner and you can probably already tell what my opinion of that will be, it's still worth talking about nonetheless and getting an overall perspective to help you make a decision. So I will do those should you pull videos on everything, and with those should you pull videos, I intend to also incorporate data from both YouTube and my Patreon crowd. As you can see, just some like the poll data there. So that's going to be in my community tab on YouTube. Go and vote if you want to have your opinion. This is from the previous banner, the legendary banner. And on my Patreon, if you want to consider joining that, supporting the channel, I also will plug in some thoughts and reasoning that can really help round things out for you guys. Not just my opinion, but also those that also see this banner and then make decisions on that. So yeah, that's basically it for now. Look forward to the video later today. The Should You Pull will likely do an analysis on the harmonized hero of this banner, which of course is a little bit interesting, and whether he is truly worth your gambling skills. No, but maybe. So let's get into the banner. Gonna let it play and of course give you guys my thoughts on every single thing we see here. But before we do, smash the like button. It does help this channel out. Sub if you haven't already, which I'm sure about 50% of you haven't, so maybe move that number a little bit downer, much down, whatever. It's fun. All right, that's it. Let me know in the comments as well what you think of the banner. Let's do this. First up actually is Larcei with an axe. Yeah. So, to be fair, to be totally fair, green axe infantry units that are actually have preference weapons that are like carry or tank in nature are fairly rare with a good stat spread. So this is like the caveat here. For example, Rinka is technically an enemy phase axe infantry unit and has I believe steady breath in her weapon, which you'd think is really good, but there's others like Brave Dimitri who also have something similar, who obviously don't make that weapon because of steady breath. What is missing is basically a res stat off of that unit, or just in general great carry potential with a preference weapon that does more than steady breath, which is what we'll see here out of Larcei. So interestingly enough, this role already, in my opinion, isn't really covered, and as a result, the only real green carries in AR in general are basically Bike and Brave Edelgard in the current game. I mean, you can definitely work with other stuff, maybe repurpose them for Gale Force, or try to budget one, but they're just never gonna compare to Bike or Brave Edelgard. So this is exactly what we need then in that case, which is a green axe carry that has slaying, very easy condition to meet, null follow-up, guard, special denial, Ragnall Astra for an actual good special. Damage reduction in the B just coming in there, but obviously I'm not a huge fan of Frenzy. I'd prefer like Spurn, to be honest, in AR. Like that's the best one to use. And of course you just give like this encounter and you're good to go. Like this is it. You throw Mystic Boost and this is your Green X infantry carry. I could see a +1 Larcei actually being a solid carry that outclasses many other options. So if you're a Larcei fan, then this is something to be happy about. The fact that her special basically can't be denied is huge. Like that is good. That is actually, in my, like for seasonal units, they tend to be memes, but like that one actually seems pretty usable at low merges. And we have a couple of those, like they've happened throughout the year. Like Winter Altina as being like a clear example of that. However, she was a spark, Larcei's not. That's gambling. Don't endorse gambling, especially on a gacha game. Okay, next up, Julia Red Tome Flyer. Now, that obviously has some glaring comparison to something like Aversa, which many people probably already have. But, as we'll see in a moment, this one, this Julia is obviously fairly unique, coming with literally her preference B skill, but no preference weapon. So this is quite an odd thing for me to see, but it is a thing. Technically is like a red dual flying that makes her score more because she has a preference B skill, which is kind of cool. So as an arena, oh wait, maybe because she doesn't have a preference skill, this is like an oddity where that isn't the case. I'd have to double check this, but wow, like this is not seen very much, where you don't have a preference weapon, but you have like a preference B skill. I'm not actually sure someone else has this combination. This might be a first. But either way, Aversa is likely due for refine in probably about half a year or less. And I could see Julia basically being a solid Red Tome Flyer carry PvE sweeper type of unit, but this is obviously just like a I like Julia summon for me type of unit. So the lack of a preference will hold her back quite a bit. The lack of good B skills on range flyers definitely makes this Julia good, at least unique, but not enough for me to like say, wow, that's pretty good or pretty usable. It doesn't really have a place. So we got Lewyn here as a blue tome infantry, and I feel like this is also fairly competitive when you consider stuff like Micaiah, Guinevere, and Brunya still being much better than most blue tome infantries. To the point where even a colorless legendary, which recently got released, is overlooked or overshadowed by literally a blue tome infantry. So obviously this is going to be tough competition. And as you can see, as the 4-star focus of the banner, doesn't really come with much to really make you want him. Nothing at all. This is clearly a, again, flavor pull.
Wind, guide me.
For you FE4 fans, this is obviously amazing and probably a great time to pick up your favorites. But there's definitely some skips here.
As do you, Prince.
So yeah, colorless bow calf. That's a good role to be, if you ask me. A lot of those are good in many places, specifically AR offense and AR defense, where you'll see them used in hit and run strats, or just a lot of threat on defense. Now, Leif, mind you, this one here, as a colorless bow calf, does provide enabling dual hindrance on defense, and that is already going to be something to consider here, especially once we see what he does.
Hold fast.
Alright, so you can see right away the glaring comparison to something like Legendary Leif, and that being the Gale Force range special, which is always good. So automatically on offense he's going to be good without even like considering anything else. And on defense, well, he's got S-Drink and he's got a slaying preference weapon. Now, mind you, this is not brave. It's not a brave weapon. But because it has slaying, it already brings his Gale Force special to 2 charge. And with S-Drink, it brings it to 1. So that's already really good. And obviously, if he has QP, then he's just pre-charging his Gale Force special. Now, another really good 3-charge special for AR defense is potentially Deadeye. And with Deadeye, you can again insta-charge that without like relying on Brave shenanigans or running into units who have guard. Pre-charging a special like Deadeye or the Gale Force special is really good on defense, and I suspect that this guy will have some really good attack stat to combine with that. Combine, you know, seeing already attack speed catch 4, which is essentially really good as a default skill. You run QP, maybe make him like the 7th unit on your defense and buff like Hone Cav on him, and he's going to be hitting Deadeyes pretty nicely on a lot of those units who have damage reduction, regardless of their speed, defense, or whatever stats. So this is interesting. You don't have to do it that way, but I am going to cover him in an analysis, the should you pull, in the video later. I'm just going to say like 12 hours from now, just to like not confuse anyone depending on time zone. Now, going over his weapon, and this is why it's a bit different than Legendary Leif, he's got that sling, and he has a basically initiate combat condition or 75% HP on the enemy phase against magic or staff. Now, that condition is probably what does make him like less consistent, but it's still pretty good. The staff part is like less relevant. You're not really going to run into staffs, I'd say, on people playing into you, besides something like Flame maybe. But the magic you'll definitely run into, and it can definitely win you some games. Especially those, a clear example being something like Micaiah, who will come in to like basically stop Cavs. So that already will see some usage. Or something like Guinevere maybe, who's going to try to like anti-tome a bunch of stuff. So that's really good. But the thing that really makes it the kicker, of course, is as long as he's over 1 HP, he cannot die. As you can see, it's the same as Seliph's like weapon, essentially, the original one, refined. But like the 50% here, it's basically just over 1 HP. So that's crazy. Like I'm actually like for like good duo units on defense, he's probably going to be up there with Leif if you ask me. Definitely better than Mia. And I don't know if he'll compete with like the dancers, because I feel like you'd want merges on something like this. Again, I'm going to do more of a thorough analysis later with the should you pull, but this is not bad. On top of that, he has Canto, which, you know, is good for offense. One thing to keep in mind with like the Canto one is that he will always get at least 1 movement of Canto, or literally just 1 movement of Canto. And this is different from like trace skills where you have your remaining movement. I believe with near trace, giving an additional 1 move, or far trace, which takes whatever move you have left, which means if you have nothing left, you don't move after your engagement. With Canto 1, you're always going to get 1 space, which you'll literally see, I believe, in this clip right here, once he kills something else. I guess not. He would have moved after the Gale Force, and that's great mobility to basically do a bunch of AR offense hit and run strats. He's going to be like a better Legendary Leif on offense, which has already been really good. Now, as you can see, stat spread right there, got really high attack, pretty high speed, and lower defense and res, I guess. Just like whatever points are left go into defense and res. That's a solid stat spread. I believe that's like 40 base. 14 being the preference weapon, so that's really good. And again, just running something like Deadeye or his Gale Force special in defense will definitely annoy a lot of people or win a lot of matches. Now we'll talk about the Harmonize skill in just a moment, as you'll see here. As I said, like Harmonize skills don't really get too much use, especially in AR offense where everyone is any good team is running dual hindrance. So this is like very not relevant, but of course it's useful for resident battles, PvE content, and arena. But you could use them in arena with C-Dual Cav 4. Yeah, you could actually do that. He doesn't have like dual scoring, but you could definitely give him a dual skill. I'm sure that'll be just fine, and probably even a bit of the better units to do that with. So anyways, Desperation, and makes a guaranteed follow-up. Pretty straightforward. It's pretty good. It basically makes him a brave unit, and anyone from his game also a brave unit. I don't think there anything really needs to be said about that, why that's good, but
A blessing upon you all.
Alright, so as you can see, he's basically gonna do that here. Or at least against all his friends he will.
Fear not, I'm with you.
One thing to note though is it's not like Brave where he'll quad, and Desperation doesn't have an HP threshold. Those are two important things to consider with the whole effect, and anyone else who might benefit from it. As you can see here, we're gonna get a free Nanna, it looks like. Yeah, it looks like Nanna as a free flying healer. That's cool. That's definitely unique and different. I don't know if she'll get a preference staff, but that I don't think it'll matter too much. And I don't know what to think of her just yet, but I will cover her once I see stats. And of course, we see like fodder and potentially the staff that she might come with. So yeah, guys, that basically covers my reaction impressions on the new seasonal FE4 banner, which is cool, I guess. Yeah, I mean, I don't really have much more to say. For me, it's a solid skip and saving for my goals, which are at the moment getting a Regan Spark, which is in a few days. Then we got Linja coming back in November, gonna finish my merges there, and then I need to basically decide on some legendary or mythic banners or book 6. So at the moment I'm saving, and glad for it, so I don't have to deal with gacha or summoning. That's it for me, guys. As I said in the beginning of the video, if you made it this far, thank you for watching. As you have, let me know in the comments below what you think of this banner. Be sure to vote either on Patreon or in the community section of YouTube, and let me know what you think as well on why you're doing what you're doing. And finally, later today I'll upload a Shoju poll featuring Leif here, his stat spread, more in-depth analysis on defense and offense, plus some sample builds. How the community thinks once they've given all their votes and woken up. And finally, after that, I will be doing a Twitch stream to have fun on my birthday with you guys. That's it. Thank you for watching. Thumbs up. So if you haven't already, love you all. If you love the content, Patreon is a good way to do it to support the channel. Love you all. Peace.
It's over.